Respected distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Bima Muhammad Enagi. I represent the people of Niger South from Niger State. I rise to lead the debate on a bill for an act to amend to establish the National Shared Development Council. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to lead the debate on this very important bill, which was read the first time in this hallowed chamber on 6 November 2019. The bill seeks to establish the National Shared Development Council to provide guidance on the entire share sector for the restoration of the degraded share parklands, including off-reserve forests, the establishment of more share parklands across the share belt, promotion of the share value chain, job creation and empowerment of rural women in Nigeria. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Nigeria is blessed with abundant natural resources, including a number of cash crops. These include cassava, cashew, shea, cotton, cocoa, oil palm, rubber, among others. The value chains of these crops, if developed, can guarantee a lot of employment. Of all these crops, the shea tree has been one of the most neglected. The shea tree, known as Vitalavia paradoxa, is an important economic tree that plays a vital role as a sustainable means of livelihood for thousands of households across 22 states in Nigeria, with over 3 million rural women engaged in share business. Nigeria is at present responsible for 62%, approximately 370,000 million tons per annum of global share nut production, estimated at 600,000 million tons. Nigeria today is not just the leading producer of raw share nuts globally, but also the nation with the largest stock of share tree in parklands. The share sector, with the proper organization and investment, can support government effort to diversify the economy. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the different parts of this tree are usually used in various industries for several products. The wood of the shea tree has some benefits. The roots and bark are used as an alternative medicine as well as pesticides in crop production. In spite of the several raw components of the shea tree used for different applications, its agronomy, production, processing, and handling are still not properly developed and organized to fully harness the value chain. The establishment of a National Shared Development Council will provide the needed roadmap in harnessing the immense economic value of the entire share tree, especially with a dedicated share research institute as part of the components of the proposed Share Council. Furthermore, shea butter is called women's gold in West Africa, as it provides a sustainable source of revenue for rural women to support their households with food, medicine, clothing, and education. Shea butter, especially the Nigerian grade, is in high demand on the international markets. The council, when established, will encourage and enforce pre-export share value addition to create decent jobs and support women in various share clusters across the country. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, the present global annual demand for share is valued at about $4 billion and is projected to be over $10 billion by the year 2030. The main benefits of share to Nigeria include foreign exchange earnings, women empowerment, source of income generation, wealth creation, enhancement of lives, food security, employment generation, rural infrastructural development, industrialization, reduction of deforestation and forest degradation, reduction in carbon emission and climate change mitigation. The traditional manual method still dominates, which is passed down from generation to generation. The method is time-consuming, physically exhausting, and extremely labor-intensive, requiring large quantities of water and fuel wood, often carried from long distances. Technology must therefore be brought into the business. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is instructive to note that the National Share Development Council will bring immense development to communities engaged in the share sector. The bill contains 18 clauses with a schedule. Clause 1 to 5 deals with the establishment, objectives, and functions of the Council. Clauses 6 and 7 provides for appointment of staff and pension matters, while clauses 8 to 10 contains provisions for funds of the Council, powers to accept gifts, borrow and invest the funds of the Council. The functions of the Council will include drawing policy guidelines and programs of the share sector development, developing share parklands, and monitor landscape restoration across the share belts in the country, establish a dedicated share research institute for share research and development, advise on adaptation of machinery and processes for the share value chain, domesticate the entire share value chain by encouraging and enforcing pre-export share value addition to create more jobs, support rural women clusters engaged in share business in Nigeria, and advise on any other matter which is aimed at enhancing the objectives of the Council. Conclusion. Finally, Mr. President, my highly respected distinguished colleagues, I urge you to give your support to this bill, as it will bring immense development to communities actively engaged in the share sector. This is the time to look forward to an era of prosperity, which will in turn result in the economic development of this nation. The passage of this bill will once again display commitment of this Senate towards repositioning the entire share sector for restoration of degraded share parklands across the share belt, creation of new belts, promotion of the share value chain, increased foreign exchange earnings, employment generation, rural infrastructural development, revenue mobilization and generation, climate change mitigation for the empowerment of rural women in Nigeria. In accordance with Order 77.3 of our standing rules, the estimated capital and recurrent expenditure for the first 12 months is hereby attached. I implore you, Mr. President, my highly respected distinguished colleagues, to support the second reading of this bill. Thank you.